A major discussion is currently taking place over the ongoing appeal involving Nnamdi Kanu, and many people have been asking one important question. Has the Court of Appeal finally settled on the 3 judges that will hear the appeal? There are several reports circulating online, and many Nigerians are eager to know what is confirmed, what is being reported, and what could happen next. One of the reports making the rounds claims that a 3-member panel has been selected to handle the appeal. The names being shared in those reports are Justice Balkisu Aliyu as the presiding justice, alongside Justice Abubakar Bello Mohammed and Justice Oyewole Oyejoju. However, it is important to note that these names are being circulated in reports and discussions, and viewers should always look out for official court communications regarding judicial assignments. Now, why is this attracting so much attention? The reason is simple. Whenever a major appeal reaches the Court of Appeal, the judges assigned to the panel become a point of public interest. That does not automatically tell anyone what the final judgment will be, because judges are expected to decide cases based on the law, the evidence presented, and the legal arguments made before them. Many people have been following Nnamdi Kanu's legal journey for years. The case has gone through different stages, including proceedings at the Federal High Court, appeals, and several legal applications. Every new development naturally attracts nationwide attention because of the public interest surrounding the matter. One thing that is worth remembering is that the appeal process itself is a normal part of the Nigerian judicial system. When someone believes there were legal errors in a trial, the law allows that person to challenge the decision before a higher court. That is exactly what an appeal is designed to do. It is an opportunity for another panel of judges to examine whether the law was correctly applied during the earlier proceedings. This is why many legal analysts have been paying close attention. They are not only interested in who may hear the case, but also in the legal questions that the Court of Appeal will eventually consider. Those legal questions could shape the next stage of the case. If this is your first time watching this channel, kindly take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. It really helps us continue bringing you balanced updates on major stories from Nigeria and around the world. Now, another question many viewers have asked is this: does the selection of judges mean the outcome of the case has already been decided? The simple answer is no. Under Nigeria's judicial system, the assignment of judges does not determine the final outcome of a case. The judges will receive the records from the lower court, study the written arguments filed by both sides, listen to oral submissions where necessary, and then deliver their judgment based on the applicable law. Until that judgment is delivered, every possible outcome remains open under the legal process. This is why legal experts often advise the public not to jump to conclusions simply because certain names are linked with a case. Every appeal stands or falls on the legal arguments before the court. Another interesting point is that the appeal itself has remained a topic of national conversation. Supporters of Nnamdi Kanu believe the appeal raises important legal issues, while the federal government continues to defend the earlier judgment. Ultimately, it will be for the Court of Appeal to examine the issues raised and decide the matter according to the law. That is why many Nigerians are watching every development carefully. Court proceedings of this nature often become significant not only because of the individual involved, but also because they can contribute to legal discussions on due process, appeals, and judicial procedure. So, while many people are discussing the reported composition of the panel, it is important to distinguish between reports circulating online and official court announcements. As always, the most reliable position is to follow the formal judicial process as it unfolds. This story is still developing, and there are several important legal issues that could shape what happens next. Now, let's take a closer look at what happens after an appeal reaches this stage, because many people hear the words Court of Appeal without fully understanding what the judges are actually expected to do. The Court of Appeal is not a court that starts a fresh trial from the beginning. Instead, its responsibility is to carefully review the decisions made by the lower court. The judges examine the court records, the legal arguments from both sides, and any issues raised by the lawyers before reaching their own decision. That means the appeal is mainly about the application of the law. The court considers whether the earlier proceedings followed the law correctly and whether there were any legal errors that could affect the outcome of the case. This is one reason why appeals sometimes take time. The judges must carefully study large volumes of documents before delivering a judgment. It is a detailed legal process rather than a quick decision. For viewers who have been following this case over the years, you will know that it has attracted attention both within Nigeria and internationally. There have been several court appearances, different legal applications, and multiple rulings at different stages. Because of this long history, every new development naturally becomes headline news. At this point, many people are asking another important question. What are the possible outcomes of the appeal? There are several possibilities under Nigerian law. One possibility is that the Court of Appeal could agree with the earlier decision after reviewing the legal arguments. Another possibility is that the court could disagree with some or all aspects of the earlier ruling if it finds legal grounds to do so. In some situations, an appellate court may also give further directions about how certain legal issues should proceed. The exact outcome depends entirely on the arguments presented and the judge's interpretation of the law. That is why legal analysts often remind the public not to predict the final judgment before the court has completed its work. This is also why you may see different opinions on television, social media, and in newspaper reports. Lawyers, commentators, and members of the public can all have different views, but the official position will only come from the court when judgment is delivered. If you're finding this update helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We work hard to bring you balanced and easy to understand updates on major developments, and your support helps us continue doing that. Another interesting aspect of this case is the level of public interest it has generated over the years. Whenever a hearing date is announced or a legal filing is made, discussions immediately begin across the country. Some people focus on the legal arguments, while others discuss what the case means from a broader national perspective. However, it is important to remember that public discussion is different from the judicial process. Judges are expected to make their decisions based on the law and the evidence before them, not on opinions expressed outside the courtroom. That distinction is very important because it helps protect the fairness and independence of the courts. Many viewers have also asked whether the identities of the judges alone can tell us what the final judgment will be. The honest answer is no. The professional backgrounds of judges may be of public interest, but they do not determine how a case will end. Every judge is expected to approach each case independently and decide it according to the Constitution, the applicable laws, and the arguments presented during the appeal. As the legal process continues, there will likely be more updates, including hearing dates, filings by both parties, and any directions issued by the court. These are the developments that will give a clearer picture of how the appeal is progressing.